So the launch today is brought to you by the Office of the Commissioner for Public Sector Employment and IPAA SA. I'd also like to acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today. So thank you to our speakers for today, who will be Erma Rainieri, who is the Commissioner for Public Sector Employment, and also Claire Madden, social researcher, demographer and the voice on Generation Z. Thanks to IPAA SA and the Office of the Commissioner for Public Sector Employment, who've worked together to deliver today's event. We also acknowledge IPA's major partners, the State Government of South Australia's Senior Management Council, PwC and the Flinders University. And we also acknowledge IPA's professional members and counsellors. I'd also like to welcome Chief Executives from the State Government, representatives from PwC and Flinders University. Just a bit of housekeeping before we get going. Can I ask you all to please place your mobile phones on silent? There are toilets in the building, obviously, and there are signs as you leave the auditorium. And if there is an emergency and we need to evacuate, I'd ask you to follow the staff as they lead you outside. At morning tea, please visit the IPAA SA Membership Hub to explore the benefits of IPAA SA's professional membership. By signing up today, you will also receive the Equal Justice book by Rabia Siddiq. Today's Twitter hashtag is #DiversityAndInclusion2019. We also have a fabulous door prize today, which is Claire Madden's book, Hello Gen Z. And if you're the lucky winner, you'll find an envelope stuck under your chair. So if you reach under your chair and find the envelope, drum roll, you can collect your prize. Do we have a winner? There we go, we have a winner, well done. And you can collect your prize from the registration desk at the end of the event. The book is also available for sale at this special rate today of $20. The regular retail price is $25. So again, please see the friendly IPAA staff at the registration desk to make your purchase. So to commence, I'd like to introduce and invite Commissioner Erma Rainieri to the stage to launch the event.
Thanks so much, Caroline, and thank you, Kira, for that wonderful welcome. I would also like to acknowledge the land we meet on today is the traditional lands of the Kaurna people, and we respect their spiritual relationship with their country. Well, we finally did it. What a great day it is today. Diverse, inclusive, safe. These three words underpin and help us celebrate why we're here today. And more than that, it's these words that bring together the why we've all worked so collaboratively to launch this strategy, to keep building a public sector where everyone belongs. As Commissioner, I'm passionate about building a world-leading public sector, a public sector that positively serves our community. And to help me do this, we need people like you. I'm thrilled to see so many of you here this morning and from across all parts of the public sector, representing many diverse groups. I'd also like to thank members of the Senior Management Council for their support and endorsement of this sector-wide approach, and in fact their involvement all the way. Diversity is one of the four foundations of public service. It's in our code of ethics. As the state's largest employer, it's imperative our public sector must represent our diverse community. It's this representation, when people can see themselves, help us as public servants relate to our communities and help us serve them well. As Commissioner, a key priority is to ensure our workforce reflects the diverse community we serve to help us deliver the best services we can. Today is an important day where we launch our South Australian Public Sector Diversity and Inclusion Strategy and its supporting plan that will enable us to be a diverse, inclusive and safe public sector where everyone belongs. This strategy goes beyond attracting diversity into our workforce. To help us truly embed a culture of diversity and inclusion, we need to ensure our people at all levels are included. When people feel they belong, I strongly believe it helps unlock their purpose to positively contribute to their workplace and, importantly, our community. And while our first step is to attract people from diverse backgrounds, We must also enable the diversity of talent we already have to contribute to their maximum potential in an environment of positive inclusion and engagement. The value of diversity is only leveraged when we enable the diversity of thought to be heard. As we strive to be the best workplaces we can be, we must listen to the many voices of our employees and leverage their diverse backgrounds to better serve our communities. So how did we develop this strategy? I'll take you all back to last year, and I'm sure you were all there as well, when we undertook the inaugural I Work for SA Your Voice survey. 24,000 employees had a say about their workplace through this survey. We have listened. The results showed us there were a number of areas employees were looking for us to enhance. These included diversity, well-being, and creating more positive workplaces where employees felt safe and supported. 65% of respondents agreed or strongly agreed with the statement in the survey, "My agency is committed to creating a diverse workforce." This statement included themes around gender, age, cultural and linguistic background, disability, Indigenous people, LGBTIQ+. This showed us that whilst many are recognising the value of diversity, it is not consistent across the sector, and there is a lot of room for improvement, particularly when we compare ourselves to Australian and other public sector benchmarks. Today's launch builds on the work we've commenced last year, continuing to embrace the inclusive approach. In December last year, and I think many of you are here today, we held a workshop at which we invited over 140 participants from across the public sector and the wider community to tell us what would work and how they would like to see this strategy develop and what would resonate for them. I'm pleased to see many of you here today. I'd like to say a very big thank you for being part of this journey with us. And it's this feedback, teamed with working with our stakeholders, that it's been vital to develop this strategy and plan. It's this feedback that has helped us shape our vision for a diverse, inclusive and safe public sector where everyone belongs. There are some key words in our vision, and I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about why we've included them. It starts with diversity. Diversity relates to the mix of background, characteristics, experiences, professional skills and perspectives. Some characteristics include disability, age, gender, gender identity, sexual orientation, cultural background, beliefs and faith, including those of no faith, mental and physical health. When you look at all the ways we are different, it is important to recognise we're all individual and all have different backgrounds, characteristics and experiences that we bring to our work. I think I'm one slide behind. So I'm going to go to the next one, which is inclusion. And what do we mean by inclusion? Inclusion impacts us all and is fostered when you feel valued and respected for who you are. When you are connected to and accepted by others, have equal opportunities to develop your career and can contribute to your full talents to the public sector. It is also about feeling safe to speak up and talk about physical and mental health challenges. Belonging. Why is it important? At some point in our lives, and probably more than once, we've been in a situation where we felt we didn't belong. It might have been at a party, happened to me a lot actually, or social gatherings where you couldn't find anyone or anything in common with others. And I think reflect on how you felt, possibly uncomfortable. Typically, certainly I knew that I wanted to leave. But what if you felt that way when you're at work? When employees feel like they don't belong at work, performance and personal life inevitably suffers. That's why it's critical that belong is in the vision. Creating a sense of belonging is absolutely pivotal to this strategy. If you belong somewhere, you are engaged. You're more likely to bring your unique perspective and your ideas and potential for innovation into the workplace to meet our broader goals for the public sector. I strongly believe that diversity, inclusion and belonging are linked, and you need all three to create the best employee experience possible. And this quote highlights how important all these three are on the slide. There is one missing word I haven't explained yet, and that is safety. Safety, whether it's physical, mental and personal wellbeing, is vital. People need a safe place to work, a place where they are confident that they can bring their whole selves to work. My office has recently developed and is now delivering the Mentally Healthy Workplaces Framework and Toolkit in support of employee safety across the sector. Exposure to psychosocial hazards in our workplaces incurs large financial costs in the South Australian public sector. There are links to increased absenteeism, reduced productivity, but it's more than financial and productivity. It's about you, people. When an employee is not able to work through a psychological injury, it can have a long-term impact for the person in particular and a flow-on effect for everyone around them. The aim of the Mentally Healthy Workplaces Framework is to support agencies to create mentally healthy workplaces that support employees through their public sector career. The framework supports our diversity and inclusion strategy to enable employees to feel safe, to freely talk about physical and mental health challenges. A whole of government email will be sent shortly, highlighting the release of the framework. So how will the South Australian Public Sector Diversity and Inclusion Strategy make a difference? The strategy outlines our vision and commitment to ensuring the public sector workforce is inclusive and reflects the diverse community it serves, and importantly, it provides us with a focal point for our collective energy and attention. The strategy outlines three priority focus areas for the sector over the next 3 years. The first area, that we need to reflect the diverse community that the public sector serves. In the 2016 Australian Bureau of Statistics census, South Australia comprised of over 1.6 million people. 34,000 of those are Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander. Our median age in South Australia is 40 years old. In South Australia, just over 30% of people were born overseas. We are a state that is rich in diversity and our demographic makeup. But it's not just about ensuring that the demographic profile of the public sector workforce is representative of this community. It is also about how we leverage the difference in our knowledge, our backgrounds, our experiences to enhance the services of the public sector and our workplaces. Through this plan, we will continue to increase employment of people with diverse backgrounds and experiences. We have to be representative of the community we serve. We continue our momentum towards achieving gender equality, ensuring our recruitment practices are inclusive and bias-free, improve retention and development outcomes. This is about enabling that diversity to flourish, ensuring equal opportunities to progress and develop when you're in the sector. The next priority area is building diversity and inclusion knowledge and capability. We want to build up understanding and capability in our sector about diversity and inclusion. Diversity and inclusion is a complex area with many facets. Much research and considerable discussion about what works and what doesn't work quite as well. We want employees to understand what diversity and inclusion is and what they can do to enable our workplaces to be as inclusive as possible. We also want to increase awareness of the importance and value of diversity and inclusion in the sector. And the final area is accountability for diversity and inclusion. Fostering, valuing and embedding diversity and inclusion in the public sector is a collective responsibility of all employees and in particular leaders. While chief executives and senior leaders have a key role to play in setting direction in our respective agencies, it is you, the people of our organisations, that can truly lead and work collectively together to enhance diversity and inclusion. So supporting this strategy is really, really important. This will run until December 2020 and forms the outline of our new actions which we'll deliver in support of this longer-term vision. Some key actions I will highlight include agencies developing specific diversity and inclusion strategies or aligning their existing strategy to this one. And some of you today may be attending the workshop that's coming after this session to support the agency in doing that. We are developing a South Australian public sector disability employment strategy, and in particular have had help from you, some of you in the audience today, in doing that and continuing that support and our journey on looking after people with disabilities. We are setting up a cross-government diversity and inclusion community of practice strategic committee. We are defining and communicating best practice approaches to flexible working arrangements and supports for working parents or carers in business processes. We are undertaking research into a cross-sector program for LGBTIQ plus allies who show support and commitment for people to be themselves at work. And we are committed to developing a cross-sector diversity and inclusion portal for knowledge and information sharing across the public sector. It is important that I recognise there are many cross-sector initiatives already and agency-level initiatives that will help achieve this vision, and many of you have already been actively involved in delivering those, and I wanted to give you a very big thank you for supporting us on the way. I encourage each of you to think of one thing you could do today at an individual level that can help enhance our inclusiveness and belonging in our workplace. It could be as simple as introducing new colleagues to co-workers and helping them establish a network. Connecting with a co-worker you don't know that well. Inviting people into a conversation, particularly those who are likely to have a diverse view, or publicly recognising, thanking someone who has demonstrated inclusive behaviours. As a public servant for the best part of 30 years, thank you for whoever wrote that, that's terrific. I recognise it's a bit longer than that. I recognise the importance that inclusion has played in my career and of course my own diverse background as a migrant. It has motivated me to do better, but it was those people that actually supported me and encouraged me to be myself that actually made me bolder, made me think bigger, and it helped me actually realise that my purpose was very important. As I said at the start of my speech, we're here today because of you, and you are here today because of a purpose that we all share: to support diversity and inclusion in our public sector workforce, and to support the amazing community we have the absolute privilege to serve. I ask each of you to work collectively together so we can achieve our vision: a diverse, inclusive and safe public sector where everyone not only feels like they belong, but have a right to belong. Thank you very much.